start with questions in the room. Nathan?
Coach, just looking at the Miami team that we're facing off this week, 25 total points on the year, lowest in the nation, but they've played a real difficult schedule. How are you assessing their strengths going into Saturday?
No, we know how, what kind of ability they have. Last year, in Carlos's first start, it was probably one of the more unusual games in the country. Game started, stopped, and then didn't resume until, I don't know, I think it was after midnight.
Finished
After midnight. So, obviously they're perennially one of the better teams in the MAC, so we know all about their ability. We were 31-28 with them a year ago at home, so obviously, we were competing with them on a high level, and but this is a new year. Got to get ready to play, and it's nice to be able to go there, and we've got a win under our belt.
Looking back at the CCSU tape, anything different that stuck out to you from Saturday's performance?
A lot of things, it's really kind of, second week in a row, but I'll give you some of the, things that have, that kind of stuck out. First off, I thought we started pretty well. I thought we were able to make up for some self-inflicted adversity during the middle of the game, and then we finished on a very strong note. So, the good thing is we found a way to compete and win and get that first W. So just some things that are interesting, and I see it across college football. The rush game, like we had 160 yards rushing, they had 157. No, 90, my bad. In passing, we had 287, they had 157. Total yards, we had 450 in 88 plays. They had 247 in 47 plays. Third down, we were 6 of 13. They were 2 of 11, which is obviously a good number for us the second week in a row, or third week in a row, really. Red zone, we were 4 for 4 in the red, and they were 5 for 5. And that's field goals and touchdowns. Penalties, just losing my mind. I'm preparing half of this is just preparing to get ready to hash this thing out. But we had 15 penalties for 135 yards. Now, they were no picnic either. But I'm not really concerned about them. I'm concerned about us. But we had 4 on defense for 40 yards, 6 on offense for 45, and 5 on special teams for 50. Just some points. Defensively, we gave up 3 explosive plays, and that's plays over 16 yards. We had a 56-yarder against us, 31 and a 21. Now, here's some of the good stuff. We had 23 plays of 0 or negative gains. That's a significant amount, and that's where we want to be. We had 37 plays of 3 yards or less, and we played 58 total snaps. We had 12 havoc plays. That means hitting the quarterback, knocking the ball out of the receiver's hands, interceptions, which we also had. Ryan Barnes had his first, so he made a significant contribution when Isaiah Rutherford went down. We're 39th in the country in total defense. Last year at this time, we were 111th. So I think that's significantly improvement for sure. Offensively, we dominated the time of possession again. We had it for 37 minutes and 46 seconds. They had it for 22-14. We had 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. It's the first time since, I was here and came in 23, and it was the first time that we had 450 yards of offense since week 5 of 2023. So, obviously a good effort for sure. Special teams, we gave up a squib kick for a return that led to a touchdown. Gave up a surprise onside, just flat out weren't ready for it. And that's on me too. And Lori had five extra points, which was good. Yeah, so that gives you an overview of the game. The best thing about the game was we just kept playing. We didn't stop playing. We didn't start pointing the finger at the offense, the defense, kicking. We just kind of kept on the path and just kept playing. And that's what you're really looking for.
I was there on the sideline, and I think it was after the score, after the 3 and out, they went up 28-21. Offense gets the ball back, I think inside the 20. I think they go 3 and out, or maybe it's a second. I heard and saw Damian Mincy gather the entire offense up and really kind of lay into them to fire them up. I'm just curious, to me that felt like a big turning point in the game, but was that something that you asked him to do, or was
Nope.
that just him sort of leading on that front?
Damian and I we go back a long way. Obviously, he was with me here and was an interesting hire because I called him one morning at 4 o'clock. I said, be here by 8 o'clock. So, that's kind of how that started. And, he's got my 100% of my confidence. And if he's going to grab those guys, there's a good reason for it. And, I knew of it, which is great. So, feels. And then obviously, that fourth quarter, we won the fourth quarter, and we had to stop them, so how many of you guys wanted a piece of me? On 4th down, when we went for it on 4th and 1, I just felt like, hey, we got to win this football game, and we got to compete, and we got to, do aggressive things in nature. We didn't make the first, but we went 4 and out after that with a great stop on 4th down. So and that led to the win. So it was all good. Yeah.
What details can you provide on the Anthony Simpson situation, and when were you made aware that he was going to leave?
I'm not going to talk about any situation with the young man not here anymore on the football team.
Someone who showed up in a big way, Jackson Paradis. I know you mentioned
Yeah.
his father, Sean, to me after the game, and I've seen how big his family is at this game, but just take me through, how you got him here and what he's been like as he's sort of waited his time to get onto the field.
Well, the big part with him, and I mentioned this back a week ago or so, is injury. Every time we got him going, and he would, be geared up, ready to take the next step, he'd find a way, stub his toe, sprain an ankle, you name it. It was just one thing after another. And I felt him as we were kind of ending summer workouts. And he's kind of had a run of good luck, which usually happens when you're a running back. You'll have good and bad luck. And, obviously he made a nice contribution along with Jalen John. And so, I felt really good about his effort and production and Jalen's effort and production for sure.
You talked earlier in the CCSU answer about you guys dealt with adversity in that late second, early third, fought through it. As we move on in the season, get some SEC teams, margin of error gets a little slimmer.
Yep.
How do you guys continue?
Well, we just keep getting better. That's the whole thing. That's you don't hide on it. You don't just be happy that you won the game and then go to the next one. We're going to address these things today. And, but at the same time, you don't want to, just put it on like it's a weight on somebody's back. But we're going to address it, and we got to make sure that we're moving forward and minimizing the damage. we had one drive, it starts on the 2-yard line after the interception. Give me a break. It's hard, that's hard business right there. We had the one, as a result of the kick, starts on the 27-yard line, and then 2 right at midfield. But then also, at the end of the third, we had a big 3 and out. And I'll tell you, I thought was a big one was, you remember late in the third when they kicked the field goal? Do you remember that? Was the third, right? Yes. They kicked the field goal. The key, I thought that was a big key because then we went down and scored a touchdown. And that gave us the separation. And, that was a big deal because touchdowns are, if you score a touchdown, then you're just getting back to even, whereas forcing them to a field goal opportunity, which was good, gives you a chance in one possession to go down the field and score.
Coach Brown, are you satisfied with your defensive line play up to this point?
It's getting better. We've got so many new people there, but I'm happy with them. I like all those guys now. They're competing, they're playing hard, they're doing things. Chambray, will be at full strength this week, so that's a good positive. ET's getting better all the time. I mean, all those guys are getting better. A lot of those guys were guys that were on major college, rosters, and weren't getting playing time, and joined us, and obviously we got them going in the right direction, and we feel really good about what we're doing. Let's see. I mentioned that. Rushing offense, we've moved to 40th in the country. So that's, last year we were around 127th or something. So, we're making progress for sure.
Looking ahead to Miami, Ohio, it's your guys' 4th MAC team you guys are playing in the season. Is there a little extra juice to these games now that you guys are going to be in that conference in a year's time?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice when you're locked in and you're playing 8 MAC teams and you kind of know who your opponents are and who they are. What I mean by that is you're going to play them year after year, so there's going to be a development of understanding what their scheme is, what they like to do, and go from there.
Going back to the defensive line, I know last year and the last couple of years, guys like Marcus Bradley were sort of your more typical nose type physically, bigger guys. This year, just physically, it's a slightly smaller group. Have you had to work in new things, whether that's stunts, twists, to get different?
No, we
kinds of
do it
pressure?
anyway, so we're a big move team anyway. So, I don't see that being a big issue.
All right, we'll take a couple questions from Zoom.
Any questions from the Zoom? Go ahead, Howard. Howard, you're muted.
You got me now?
Got you.
Okay.
Why aren't you here? What's up?
Oh, I spent the whole morning voting on the Atlantic 10 stuff, so I've been busy.
Okay.
Of your 15 penalties, 5 of them were what you would call non-combat
Yep.
penalties. They were either, there were 3 false starts, 2 offsides. Do those concern you more than the so-called combat penalties, and how do you correct both of them?
Well, you just gotta, continue to work hard on your cadence, on your snap counts, and sometimes in the offense, with all the clapping, all that stuff, that what that does is it promotes our guys got to learn how to get off on the proper claps, and it's a bit of a learning issue for sure. But the only thing that's different about the combative ones is they're longer. They're 15 yards, as opposed to offsides, which is 5.
Any other questions from Zoom? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Have a great Monday.
One more in the room here.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, you're good, bud.
I was wondering, Garrett Zuro sticks around, he plays a different role here for a couple of years, sticks
Yep.
around, comes back as an assistant. Just what was it like getting him back on staff, and what is he like now as he sort of transitions from the player that he was to now on the coaching
He's a
staff?
great human being. I couldn't be happier to have a young man on my staff. He's got a great future. He's great with people. Very personable. Gives you a great effort every single day. So who wouldn't want a guy like that around you every single day? So, we gave him a job, and I feel I got to say a prayer for him every morning because he's got to go in the room with Alex Miller and work with the offensive line. So, I worry about him in that respect, but he's doing a great job, and just a great young man. And it's nice, as you know, if you look around my staff and so forth, there's a lot of people representing UMass here. I'm a big believer that those kinds of people are more committed to getting this thing right, and that's all I'm trying to do from Sunday to Saturday is get a little bit better every day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.